I will be well guarded. What are you doing now?
Because I know I was sitting in your spot like a bunch of times.
You're here tonight.
Past few weeks
I am so glad. That's 2 weeks in a row.
I know.
Oh my God, how awesome is this?
And counting.
Look who we got, this handsome guy on Skype tonight.
Hey,
Ken
that's
Silvestri.
Ken.
I have known him for 30 years.
Really?
Yes. He's always been the face of the company.
I feel
and
very
at any
close to him.
trade show you go to, he's always smiling.
You know, he personally emails me every once a month and sends me a video of himself doing stuff.
No,
It's awesome.
stop it. I'll have what he's
He
having.
sends it
Yeah.
right to me.
Okay,
I
ready,
feel-
set, go, guys. Ready? No cameraman tonight.
Me
Hi,
too.
Mike. And of course, we get James. Ready, set, go. Give us a countdown.
3, 2, 1.
The What's Neat This Week video podcast is supported by enthusiastic model railroaders just like you. And by GL Robotics. With over 61 colors of 3D printing filaments in stock, your gateway to new technology. Check out their website at glroboticsusa.com. Further support is provided by Microengineering, keeping you on track with quality products for 55 years. Check out their website at www.microengineering.com. Order from your local dealer or order direct by calling 1-800-462-6975. Additional support is provided by Spring Creek Model Trains, your destination for model trains. Stop in and say, wow. Check out their website at springcreekmodeltrains.com. And by Intermountain Railway Company, where the detail makes the difference. Check out their website at intermountain-railway.com. Additional support is provided by Yelsma Graphics, America's leading distributor of quality railroad art and embroidered clothing since 1985. Check out their website at yelsma.com. Further support is provided by the NCE Corporation, the power of DCC. Visit their website at ncedcc.com. And thank you for supporting the What's Neat This Week podcast. This is the What's Neat This Week, show number 234 for May 13th, 2023. I'm your host, Ken Patterson, the host of that What's Neat show that we run over at Model Railroad Hobbyist Magazine every month, where we get to get our hands dirty and build stuff. Now, the May video, let's think about that. That's what month we're coming into now.
right.
Yeah,
Here we're in May.
it should be releasing here in 2 days. They're running on time, running early even.
2 more days will be the last part of a 4-part series that we ran in the What's Neat videos on how to build this shelf layout into a great big massive 5-foot by 12-foot layout.
Yeah.
Came out really good. A lot of how-tos, a lot of steps, building a turntable, wiring, laying track, doing the scenery, wrapping the diorama, making everything look professional. So that will be the last segment that's running this month that James Regier just referred to. Starting in June, I'm going to start another 4-part series on another module small layout that was built that's 8 feet by 3.5 feet, which could fit into any man cave. And we're going to cover everything from start to finish over the next 4 months on how to build that layout. Plus, we've got the great interviews with Bachman Industries on the show, telling us what's new every month. And a new addition to the What's Neat show starting in June will be, in fact, Broadway Limited, because they've got a lot of neat products that we have experienced and enjoyed through the years. We've got M1s, we've got decapods, I got the Blue Goose, we got the Big Boy, we've got all kinds of amazing models on the table tonight that we've been running for years, but Ken Silvestri is going to share with us tonight a lot of the new products, including a new line of trains called Stealth. So there's a lot of neat stuff about to happen right now in this show. So let me continue on with the introductions. I got Joshua Sugarfire Barton. I introduced him.
What's up,
Out in
everybody?
Skype land, I have Ken Silvestri. Hi, Ken.
Hello.
Hi, Ken.
Very
Good to
nice.
have you. That's where I drop in the screen capture of you and put your name right underneath your smile. Of course, Mike Buddy sitting where Mike always sits,
Hey,
and we've got
everybody.
James Regier sitting over here on the other side.
Hey, everybody.
So a lot of neat stuff going on. Now, Ken Silvestri told me a few minutes ago, I always thought, I don't know why they were on the East Coast. They are. But they're in Ormond Beach, Florida, Ken.
Ormond.
It's got to be beautiful down there.
It's probably one of the nicest times of year. It's 68 in the morning, 84 in the afternoon. It's
Wow.
just, it's so easy. It's just easy.
That's
Very nice.
awesome. So you got a lot of new products, a lot of stuff that you might want to talk about. I know I've got some pictures of some of the new stuff that you want to discuss. So Ken, let's just take it out to you and see the amazing things that Broadway Limited offers. And in fact, you have been the face of the company for many decades, in that you are always been my contact at trade shows where I used to solicit you for photography for years, over and over and over. But you guys have done well on your own. Tell us about Broadway Limited.
Talking about the shows. Well, first off, I'm honored to be your guest on National Train Day.
That's right. Happy
Quite
National
beyond.
Train Day
That's
to you.
right.
Right.
Is that what
And,
today is?
That is National Train Day.
Broadway brought sound out about 20 years ago. Bob and I both worked at Lionel. That's where we met. And Broadway was going to bring out sound in HO. And it's funny that some of the big companies I went and talked to that I knew, and they're like, Ken, show me this new Hudson with sound. So we brought over the Hudson and showed it to them. And the head of the biggest company at the time told me, he goes, Ken, nobody wants sound. He said, if they want sound, you be number one and we'll just step back. Now, no businessman ever says, here's my business, you can take it. So, sound has always been one of our trademarks.
Yeah.
What was the first sound system? Do you remember that when they first came out with sound? That was exciting at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sure was.
Was that called Paragon?
It was Paragon, yes.
Paragon, and then there's Paragon 1, and there's 2, and there's 3, and there's 4 right now. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yes.
So now we're up to Paragon 4, where you keep raising the bar.
Well, it's interesting. When I first started making trains, it was a motor, a couple of gears, some lights, and off you went. Well, as the electronics have grown, it's like a computer. You can't get a 15-year-old computer fixed. They don't have those chips. They don't make them anymore.
Right.
So we have to always keep upgrading because some of our chips become obsolete. So that, and we can add, they get faster, there's more memory. Initially, the locomotives, we had to have a big tender.
Okay.
Or if it was a diesel, it had to be a wide body just to fit the electronics. Now we get Paragon 4 in an N-scale switcher.
Wow.
Now
Which
that is amazing.
Plus a speaker, which is just remarkable.
Well, and you guys went a step further with your little box and then the subwoofer too that picks up the programming from the trains itself, correct?
And how that came about, it came about almost 20 years ago. And Bob Gruber and I would go back and forth to work. We carpooled together. And on the radio came Led Zeppelin's Whole Lot of Love.
Nice.
And, the speakers go, "Row," and then they go, "Row,"
Yeah.
"Row," side
Yeah,
to
yeah.
side. And we said, you know what? We have to figure a way to do that, with the trains. Well, it's a long and winding road, but we finally got to it. Now that's the Rolling Thunder.
Very
Oh.
cool. Yeah.
So now
And-
we've got
and
Led Zeppelin,
so-
we've got Beatles, we've got next.
So I have a video here that I will download onto your computer after this. But this is the Thunder and Lightning system that they sell, and you can watch this.
I have video clips of
Yeah.
that in my computer somewhere.
Yes. So
Where you set up.
And what I did was I took your system and I took it a step further.
Wow.
And I don't know if you'll be able to see this right now, but I have.
I want Ken to see that, but he can't. The camera's way over there.
Way over there. But I took car lights, the fog lamps that you buy at like Walmart or auto parts stores, and I hooked that into your system to give it more flashlight. And then I took about 5 more strips of the same kind of lights that you use, and I put them behind polyfill and made clouds out of them. So now there's a whole bunch of lightning, and we're showing that, or already showed that here.
nice.
But I just took that one step further because I thought that was such a cool effect for my layout. You know, with the dogs barking and the windows clapping in the wind, and you know, it.
And at the end, the frogs come
Yeah.
out and sing, and life is
I mean,
it's wonderful.
It's just a beautiful effect, and it just ties the entire layout together.
Now-
You know.
Now, all you need for a layout based in the Midwest is you need the people to come out with their cameras, you know, to take pictures.
Yep.
Before they're swept away.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
Of
just
all the things I've ever made, the lightning and thunderstorm to me was my favorite. It's just it's unique in that way.
very
Yeah.
much so. And I just want to let you know that I've had tons of people ask me where I got that from, and I tell them, and 9 out of 10 of them come back to me and go, I can't find it anywhere. I've told tons of people the only person I must say that has bought it is Vic Smith.
Yes.
Yes.
I told him, and he ran out that day and got him one of those. But other than that, everyone who looks for one is wanting, so that'd be something great to come back out with.
Is that in
It'll
your
be
line?
out shortly.
So that,
Oh, look
Yeah,
at
sure.
that.
Another funny thing with that was I went to a show and a guy came to me and he goes, "Oh, I know who did the voice for the." Oh, I'm sorry, I'm mixed up. The wrong product. Never mind.
And I saw the water tower. You know how bad I wanted one of those and couldn't find one?
the operating water tower?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was the story I was going to tell. I went to a show and the guy goes, "I know who did the voice on the water tower." I'm like, who was it? He goes, "Tom Hanks." I'm like, "No, it wasn't." Oh, he goes, "You can't tell me." So if there's a man out there that thinks Tom Hanks is our,
man.
there's
Wow,
actually a guy
that's
named
awesome.
Curtis in our service department.
Yeah, those are very neat as well. I love that realism that you guys put forth with that kind of product there.
Yeah.
You know what? That's so important is that, Lionel taught us in the 50s that if the layout's interactive, the kids will be interested. If the kid just sits and watches it goes around and tells not to be touched, he'll have his phone out in 15 minutes.
Exactly.
But if you can, have him, press the button. This is why the cities were across the United States every 100 miles apart, because the trains had to stop. They were thirsty beasts.
That's
Yeah.
right.
That's right.
And it gets the kids interested in it, and that's what we like about the interactive products.
Absolutely. My layout is very much interactive. I have the RC cars and everything to drive, so I want to immerse people into the layout as much as I possibly can.
Well,
Yeah.
now speaking of the interactive aspect, this isn't a Broadway Limited product, but it is coming up in Model Railroad Hobbyist in the running extra. Jeff Bunza and some others have developed a proto steam throttle. So, you have those proto diesel throttles where it's just like you have an AER control stand, that you can run the diesels. They've developed it for steam, complete with simulating the locomotive running out of water, running out of fuel, all these different things, so that you have to constantly maintain it and baby it just like you would a regular steam locomotive.
How interesting.
So
Wow.
if you haven't subscribed to Running Extra yet for Model Railroad Hobbyist, I'd suggest you do so this month, because they provide you the complete instructions with how to build one of these things, the shopping list, the 3D printouts that you need to create this throttle. It's a pretty exciting project, and I may in fact go through with it myself.
That's awesome. Now, Ken, you wanted to talk about some new products coming out, and I see this HO Scale Southern Pacific GS4. And I've got 4 photographs of the pre-production sample right now that we're going to show on the screen. This is beautiful.
Stop hogging all the pictures.
I know, right? But look at this.
Yeah.
This is gorgeous.
Yeah, that's
and
awesome.
another thing that we're going to be working on for a What's Neat video coming up next month is putting sound into the Stealth. I think it's a GP35. Is that correct?
Oh, very cool.
Is that right,
yeah.
Ken?
I believe so.
So that's going to be exciting in that we're going to put a speaker in it, we'll put a decoder in it, and share this model with you, which I'm showing right now, the pre-production unpainted sample of the GP35. You've also got an N-scale Pennsylvania Railroad T1 coming out. This is, again, N-scale, and the photographs that Curtis supplied me are right here that you're looking at of this beautiful little model. But let me brag for a minute about the T1s that you came out with in HO scale. You came out with two variations, one skirted and the other one had different skirting on it. There was actual differences, as you can see in this photograph that I'm showing you right now, of both T1s together, shot outside in real sunlight in HO scale. This is one of my favorite Broadway Limited shots that I just did just on my own one time, because I thought that locomotive was so, I don't know what word to use, sexy. It was a beautiful beast, and those ran from St. Louis. They ran east.
Yeah.
So, yeah, right?
Well,
I believe it was the only 4.444 ever made.
Really?
I think so.
Now, you've been mentioning the GP35 and the, and I have a few of the Kato ones, and I always kind of follow them whenever they come out to see what's new, and I'm just seeing the increased number-specific, prototype railroad-specific detail coming out on these models. I know that with this I think it's the only time that you've made the blue goose so far, but all of the different era specific redetailing of the prototype model has just been incredible, that you can compare, like, from when it was delivered to when it went through its first rebuild, I think, which was after a month of service or so, when the technicians decided that all that skirting was really in the way.
Right.
But all that prototype specific detail that's now coming out these days, it's really impressive the way that game is being stepped up.
That's true.
Oh, in the diesels, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I think we have 10 different paint schemes for the SD40s, and there's 20 different types of details that are involved and mix match through, so they are accurate per the cab number.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's
all
very
road specific. That is awesome.
Ken, did they give you some models to share on the show tonight? Because I see three more things on the list here: is a Y6B in N scale, a HO scale SD40, and a C&O K2 Mikado, which I should have one of those here, which I'm going to do expose on what's neat. Tell us what you got to share tonight.
Well, we can start off with the
Y6B.
the Y6B in N scale.
Yes.
Yeah.
N scale's come a long, long way.
It sure has.
Yeah.
Right. It sure has.
You know, we were told that N scalers like diesels, and they didn't like steam. They didn't want steam. Well, we took the approach that they really weren't given a lot of good steam.
That's very true.
And the steam has so much charm to it, to watch
Lord.
that. Just to limit to diesel, whatever. To each their own.
And you have N scale items that smoke now too, correct?
Yes, the big boy. That was our attempt to see if people wanted smoke. Again, we were told people didn't want sound, they didn't want smoke. And, none of these things. It's like, now we can't sell these locomotives without that.
Well, that's the whole thing. It's not that they didn't want it. They didn't want the bad versions that were out of the sound and the smoke. They want a good, refined version that finally is coming out.
I think that's true of HO scale, too. Like, I remember some of the early steam locomotives that I started out with. You know, the wheels would spin. They wouldn't have great traction. The traction tires would be poorly fitting, so that they'd slip off and cause problems. But now, mechanically, like every single Broadway Limited that I've had so far, like right from this 3751, which is one of the old Quantum versions. And I thought it was older than 20 years, but if you say it's only been 20 years since you started making them, so, yeah.
Well, sound to us is very important, because model railroading is an illusion. It's not real.
Yeah.
But we make the locomotives. The guys make the scenery look so good it helps fool the eye. And then,
Right.
like in your pictures, Ken, you look at it. You have to look at it a minute. Is that real? Is that a picture? What is it?
I know that.
And when you
You did
when you
notice.
add the sound to it, it just helps to sell the illusion. It brings another sense in, and it takes you into the photograph or into the layout.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow, awesome, thank you. He noticed my photography.
And in fact, when I have my daughters operating at K10, you know, they're all watching for those whistle signs. You know, have we whistled enough for this crossing? Of course, my
Right.
5-year-old has her finger constantly on that whistle button. It's like, well, it works, sweetie. We know it works.
And Ken, tell me, I think you mentioned this to me at the RPM meet, or at the NMRA National in St. Louis last year, the alligators. When you guys came out with these alligators,
Yeah, those are cool.
you sold them. They kept selling.
Broadway's biggest asset is our customers, and we bring out the product, and they support us wonderfully, just wonderfully.
That's great.
That's awesome. What else do you want to talk about or show off tonight, Ken?
Well, let's see. I have all these notes, so
I know, I've got the same ones. They're very well written. Thank you very much.
I think we went through. Well, before we go away from the Y6B, it's a die-cast chassis, a die-cast boiler, a die-cast tender. That all translates into traction.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we have a short video on YouTube, and this N-scale locomotive is actually pulling a brick, a real
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll tell you, I have your big boy, and it is almost 1.5 pounds, I believe. I mean, and it will pull for days and days and days.
Yeah.
brick. So, and we believe it really should pull.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's more than just adding weight. It's balancing it over the wheels to get it, just like the real railroads did. You
Right.
know, the laws of physics remain constant.
Right.
And whether it's a model or the real thing. So we work hard for that. All right, next up I have an SD40.
Yes.
Yes.
Let me get to that page.
New tooling, road-specific details. The
And
first locomotive in your Stealth
Stealth, yeah.
series. And it's currently now in stores.
And Stealth, let me just say what Stealth, these are no sound DCC ready
Okay.
models that operate in DC out of the box, or a modeler can easily install their DCC decoder of choice.
That's right.
Very cool. And that way you can add sound if you want,
Right.
but if
Yeah.
you don't want, that's my thing is, you know, I have 35 sound engines.
Okay.
And I got another 35 engines that don't have sound.
Right.
I don't need sound in all of them. I mean, that just muddies everything. You know?
The Stealth series comes with a 21-pin plug-in, so it's got all the options.
Oh,
You just
very
plug it
nice.
right in.
Yeah. And it has the speakers already installed. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So it's everything in there except for the decoder. Just
Wow.
plug and play. Bob's your uncle.
Right. Some of them do, and some of them don't. I believe it's either the GP35 or whatever they're sending me to put sound in. That Stealth model obviously doesn't have sound, so
The
I got to put a
GP35
sound
But
decoder
it
in
has
it.
the speakers. All you need is the decoder.
Okay,
Very cool. I like that option.
Yeah.
that is very true.
And you know, we have a saying at Broadway: until we try it, we're only guessing. You know,
Right,
and the
right,
sound
absolutely.
in the big boy, not the sound, the smoke in the big boy, the N-scale big boy was like, well, let's see if people like it. Well, they didn't like it; they loved it.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah.
Just loved it. And I think the N-gauge guys have watched the O-gauge guys with smoke, and the HO came with smoke, and it's like it's their turn.
Yeah.
That's true. And all these models that we're talking about, of course, are available from Spring Creek Hobby in Deshler, Nebraska. Spring Creek model trains.
Right.
Don't we love
Red
them
Dave
out there?
Zucker,
They-
Dave and Debbie.
Yes.
And Deb Zucker and Mike and oh my God, they're
whole
just
crew.
awesome people. I always say that on the show sometimes that you guys are so lucky you got such a cool mom and dad. And they like trains. I mean, come on. That's a great growing up.
That's true. That's
And then
very
you get to
true.
be in the profession. Hey, Ken, do you have the C&O K2 there by chance?
K2.
Tell me.
And the hybrids to me are elegant.
They
It's
are.
just elegant locomotives.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm very proud of what Broadway has made and what we make. And
Man, look
I
at
know.
this
that.
locomotive is,
Oh man.
Look at that front end.
all the hybrids are just elegant.
It's plastic brass.
They are.
I've got 3 photographs of that model that I can put up on the screen right now to share with you up close.
Oh, that'd be great.
Just absolutely beautiful with that heater right there on the top of the front of the boiler. That always makes steam locomotives look so beautiful.
Yeah.
Stealth options available. Incredible detail. This is a hybrid brass. Both tender variations are available. Arriving
Different size tenders.
2
Okay.
different size tenders, and these are arriving at the end of the month at your favorite dealer, including Spring Creek.
Very cool.
I know.
I need me one of those SD40s. Or
This is awesome
5
having
of
Ken
them,
on.
maybe.
Boy, Ken, I sure wish you were in the studio with us so we could have a bonfire together.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
You would enjoy that. Mikey,
I would.
you brought some models tonight. Mike, tell us, what did you bring?
I just brought this one fire engine from.
Apparatus.
Yeah, fire
Right,
apparatus.
right, you caught that.
Sorry, Campbell.
Yeah, I wish he was here to talk more about this because I'm sure he knows a lot more than I do. But
Man, that sucker's detailed down
It
to
is, yeah.
everything,
It is,
isn't
Oh
it?
yeah.
Look at that ladder.
yeah, it extends. I pulled it all the way out, but I didn't want to do that I was afraid I wouldn't get it back in if I kept pulling it in and out. But
Yeah, that's what happens at our age.
Raises, yeah.
Hey,
And, it is.
I know, right?
It's a model of an American prototype, Burkina PCX87. They've really been coming out with a lot of American models lately, and this American-built fire engine is no exception to it. Yeah, the detail, like you said.
Yeah,
is just-
you slap some
and-
lights on there.
Oh my
and
God,
you're
what
good to
Neil
go.
Moultz
Yeah,
could
call
do.
East
that's
Coast
it. Call
circuits,
Neil.
yeah.
Tell
Yeah.
him that you need that all tricked out.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody's already doing it. you
Yeah,
know,
I'm
but,
sure. A spotlight on the top of that ladder and stuff. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So I did a little research on this company, Ferrara Fire Apparatus. They're based in Holden, Louisiana, I think it is, and they've been around since 1979. And I was looking at their website. They have all kinds of
Nice. Another American-made
Right.
model company. Love that.
I know.
yes.
That's nice, Mike.
So thanks to Bob Johnson at Masterbuilt Models, he comes up with these really nice vehicles.
Yeah,
for
that's
me,
awesome.
so-
We got a letter
Appreciate it.
in the mail for you, Mike, and I'm going to go grab it because I just remembered about
Do you know where?
this.
Do you know where I stuffed it?
Yes, I did. Let me go grab that.
Are we gonna read it? Are we gonna read it on the air?
Mike, I'm going to give this to you on the air.
That way, you know that we gave it to him.
All
That's
right.
how that.
right.
That's
Is it
how that.
from a viewer?
I'm-
Or?
That's
Yeah,
right.
yes.
It's a mail
That's-
call.
that's right,
on
mail
What's
call.
neat?
Yep. Where's Mr.
Yeah.
McNeely when
I
you
got a
need him?
letter
Right.
from him. You
Speedy
got
delivery.
your letter. Mine's up on the stove upstairs because Hiley and I like to read it. But open that up. This came from Albany, Georgia. And the gentleman's name is on the list. And next week we've got these 3D printed
nice.
models from...
Ooh.
I know, right? You're getting hit with this cold turkey. This wasn't in the
Sweet.
script
Yeah.
tonight.
Pictures of
Isn't it nice that I could
VW
just walk
bugs
around
on
the set
tri-level.
like this?
Ooh. Oh, look
yeah.
at that. Look
There
at
you
that.
go.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
That's the late 70s, I guess. Mid 70s.
Oh no, these are earlier than that. These are early '60s.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, very cool. Trailer
So,
trains. Huh?
Yeah, I would say maybe '64.
Very cool.
I used to love those VW bugs.
Go ahead and check out the letter for a minute. I want to ask Ken Silvestri a question. Hey, Ken, you've been in this hobby forever. I've known you for at least, I think about 30 years. I know we met around 1997, 98, something like that. I don't know how many years that's been. Do you model? Do you have a favorite scale, either N scale or HO or G scale or line L? Do you put a train around the tree? Tell me about your passion for this hobby.
as a kid, my father we had Lionel trains in the basement, like most of the guys my age in the hobby. But I also always liked putting together plastic models, cars, trucks, submarines, airplanes, crazy horror movie guys. They were models, and my favorite railroad for a long time was the B&O Railroad, because I lived in Baltimore.
Okay.
And it's like, what a great railroad. And then I started to see some of the Pensy stuff, and it's like, gee, well, okay, I can add the Pensy, and we stay east of the Mississippi. Then I saw the Big Boy and the GS4, and it's like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to stay east of the Pacific Ocean.
There you go.
What I really like, and what I really get excited about is a great model.
Oh,
And
yeah.
no matter what it is, if it's a train or a plane or whatever. But you look at the model and you see the art. Where
Yes.
some
Wow,
people look at a model and they go, oh, that's a locomotive, a steam locomotive, I think. But our guys and the guys watching your show look at it and go, that's beautiful.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
They see
Right.
beauty in it. It's not a machine anymore. It's beautiful.
Well,
Right.
a lot of that gets lost in this hobby. A lot of times I work on something for hours and hours and hours, and I see it evolve from what I wanted it to be to what it is now. And people will show up and be like, oh my God, that's amazing. And you don't see that. You see all the flaws. You see that window's just a little crooked, or that man's not standing fully erect or whatnot, And you see those little things about it, but no one else sees that. Everyone sees the art in it, And
Yeah.
Right.
that's what we have to realize as the artist ourselves.
That's so true.
Yeah.
And I really think that our hybrids approach art.
Oh, yeah,
they do.
very much so.
They do, and they really set off the imagination too. Like I know this 442 that you just did for the Penzi, beautiful locomotive. It set off my imagination, wondering what if there was like one of the Santa Fe 442s that was pulling the Death Valley Scotty Special right around the turn of the century. I think 526. Now I numbered a Mantua 442. For that number. That was the first locomotive I ever had, and so it upgraded to sound. And it's been fully modernized. I've had it on the show before, but I didn't do much to make it prototypical, and I was just wondering, like, what if?
Right.
That kind of
That's
thing.
what I think is great about the heritage units, the diesel heritage units that have come out
Yeah.
with New York Central paint schemes and Pensy paint schemes. What a wonderful thing! And another wonderful thing that's gone on is the STEAM program at the UP.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
A big boy. You don't
know.
go on eBay and get a side rod. Those things. That's an amazing feat.
Yes.
And my hat's off to them.
And we're,
Yeah, definitely.
we're working on getting Ed Dickens on the show sometime in June. I don't know if it's going to work out scheduling wise, but we're in talks right now, and he's such a nice guy.
and
I got
Ken,
to spend an afternoon with him up
Yes.
there in Wyoming. It was great.
Ken, we would love to have you here in St. Louis if you ever get up this way. The RPM is right around the corner. You could come up just for a weekend. You don't have to come as Broadway Limited. You could just come to hang out.
I appreciate that, and perhaps.
Although I tell you, with all this fine steam that's out there, I think that does have the potential to shift some people backwards in their modeling. Like that. Now that there's good quality steam out there, who
Yeah.
knows? Why not model, a steam era kind of thing rather than just stick with diesel? It really opens up the floodgates.
You look at the steam locomotive and you see all those side rods flailing.
Oh,
And
yeah.
if it's articulated, it's in concert with the front engine to the back engine, and it's just
It's
so
incredible.
Nice.
Yes.
And
Not
as
that there's anything wrong with diesel, but
Jim Six points out, the steam locomotives tend to be a little more expensive for the models than for the diesels, but you only need one for your prototypical train, whereas you need several diesels
right.
Yeah.
for a prototypical train.
I
So
love
evens out.
double heading steam though. It just looks so good.
It is
Especially
very
like
cool.
on these decapods, you've got the two different size
Oh,
tenders.
yeah. Yep.
So now I've got the variety of two different.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
I know, right? So Mike, that letter you got, who's that from? And tell us about it.
Guy named Joey Holland.
Thank you,
in,
Joey, for
Albany,
both of
Georgia.
them.
Yeah,
Thank
you.
right. I didn't get a chance to read it, but it sounds like he. Remember the flat cars I did with the school bus chassis
yeah.
loads on?
How can I
He-
forget?
Apparently, he and his buddies delivered those from the plant off the
that's
train
cool.
cars. So I'll read the whole letter.
Yeah.
But, he's
No,
talking
that's-
about how the seats clamped on there. They made these seat brackets.
If you are watching and you have any of those photos, send
know.
it to us
Yeah.
at Facebook. What's Neat This Week?
Well, it was unusual in that he didn't email, that he actually took the time to
Right.
write and stamp and
Oh,
do an
yeah.
envelope.
Yeah,
And I think we received this about 2.5 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I've been dying to let you see it.
yeah, this is awesome.
been
And then
busy.
It's so amazing when audience members reach out, and
right.
I think
You never write to me anymore.
Oh, there are folks that have gone to kenpatterson.com and they've figured out something I didn't even know you could do. They make their little, one person gives it $2 to the show every month, and it's reoccurring.
oh nice.
Or it's a $5 donation from another
Okay.
person, and it's reoccurring. I didn't know you could do reoccurring. So yeah, it's nice to have the extra $7 or $8 a month to help go towards everything we do here.
Yeah.
That's great.
I know, right? KenPatterson.com to donate. I put that in the closing text. All right, guys, we're going to go around the table one more time. Ken, have we covered everything tonight that you want to talk about?
I think so. One last thing I have, though, is Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers.
Yay! Happy
right, Happy
Mother's
Mother's
Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Good
Thank
point.
you for having me.
Mike, anything else you want to talk about tonight?
No, I think that
Josh?
covers it.
No.
James?
Well, I got some 3D models I was going to talk about.
You are?
Yeah. So the other day.
Oh my God, you've been busy.
Yeah. So we were.
I
At,
need to shoot B-roll of that.
Yeah. So we were at Ace Hardware the other day, looking for black spray paint because I was wanting to block out, the beep that I'm making so that light doesn't shine through. And I was with the girls, and we found this color shifting paint. That you look at one angle, it's purple, the other angle, it's green, or that kind of thing. And I thought, man, that would look awesome on a hot rod. But then I went back to my 3D mesh of the hot rod, and realized it wasn't really quite up to the standards that I that I like to. I decided that I would redesign it. And went as close as I could to an actual Model T base model here, Model T Roadster. I actually lined up photos, a side photo, a front photo. I think I had both side photos, and then a top-down photo looking at the frame to try and get all the proportions right, all the details right as I was drawing it up. And I'm pretty pleased with what came out. It's probably about 1 millimeter too tall for HO scale, but that's an easy tweak to solve.
That's some of the best paint work I've ever seen you do. It looks good.
But yeah, this paint is kind of neat. You can just kind of watch it change colors as you change the angles.
And you printed this using a resin printer. That's what you like right now? A
Yeah,
resin?
yeah.
And what kind of printer is that?
It's Anycubic Photon X.
Photon X.
Right.
Now that's about 1.5 years old technology,
It's a
right?
year and a half old.
You got that from GNL Robotics, right?
Yeah.
Greg Summerlin down there at GNLRoboticsUSA.com. Ken, do you guys use 3D printers at work? Do you guys mess around with that for some pre-production stuff?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
That's streamlined the process dramatically. We don't have to wait to have a test shot. Let's see if it all fits together.
Yeah, that's what makes a lot of these brass hybrids possible, and all the different configurations, that they can come out a lot quicker. And
At the last show, I actually got this. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh, is
What?
that Lionel Strang?
That's me.
That's
That's
you?
you.
Oh, you got scanned.
Oh, very cool.
Look at that.
HO scale.
Oh,
Yeah.
Bernard. We love Bernard here.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
neat.
How about that?
I'm
cool.
going to meet him here this next week in Denver.
That's awesome.
That'll be awesome.
Oh, we got to go to Denver.
I know, right? Good work on the 3D stuff. GNL Robotics, GNLRoboticsUSA.com
That's right.
is where you buy your 3D
Yeah.
printers, and he's got a lot of new ones online.
Yeah.
And you have really shown us some great stuff.
And this is also another one of the ones that I've set up, like right off the bat, in a kit form, so that there are a few kinks to work out, but eventually they'll be available.
We've got a lot of Broadway Limited, beautiful steam models on the table.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to see these run tonight. So James, I'm going to hand you the NCE Pro Cab. That's the system we use down here in the basement with 2 radios in the ceiling that run the entire layout all the way around. And Mikey, I'm going to give you the smaller cab tonight.
All right.
And I've got 2 more back here, for one for me and one for Josh. And Ken, I wish you were here so you could run a train with us tonight. I know, right? Next time we're going to have you on.
That's right.
So,
Actually,
guys-
I want to go to. Let's go to Florida.
Let's go to Florida.
Yeah, let's
Ken?
go to Florida.
We're coming to your house, Ken.
That's right.
Best hobby in the world with some of the best people in it sitting right around me at this table. Ken, thank you very much for participating tonight. We look forward to seeing all the new models coming out from Broadway Limited,
Absolutely.
right? And so going around the table, here we go, guys. It's time for us to say, let's go run some trains.
See ya.
No, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, we need to do a thumbnail.
Hand me the box.
I'm holding up my alligators. I've had these things for
I know, they're awesome.
This is a first run. I love them. Oh, I
Yeah,
love
those are sleek.
I had these in
locomotives.
brass, and these are plastic brass.
All right.
All right, look at the camera, smile. Ken, you wave at your camera, and we're going to do a thumbnail on 3, 2, 1. Okay, that's how we do that. Leave camera 1 rolling. I need it to
Excellent.
go for 1 minute and 45 seconds. And you guys can talk to Ken.
Sweet.
And
So when is the next place you're going to be at, Ken? Do you go to a lot of these different RPMs and stuff like that?
No, we usually send Matt, who's the production manager, and he has to, the cab specific detail is a tremendous amount of effort for him. So he does a lot of those type of meets.
I see.